Welcome to the story world.
It was a long time ago. Nestled among the mountains was a prosperous and beautiful kingdom, Golden Leaf Kingdom. The kingdom's hallmark was its sparkling, clear, and tranquil river. When the sun's rays fell on the river's waters in the early morning, it seemed as if thousands of diamonds were shimmering in the water. Tall peepal, banyan, and mango trees lined the riverbanks. The fragrance of flowers lingered in the air. A variety of birds nested here: parrots, pigeons, bayas, and cuckoos. But the most distinctive among them all were the golden swans. These swans' feathers had a faint golden hue. Every 6 or 7 months, a special golden feather would fall from their bodies. This feather was no ordinary one, it was made of pure gold. The king of the kingdom was just and far-sighted. He sent soldiers and made an agreement with the swans.
Lie peacefully on the riverbank, and whenever your golden feathers fall, donate them to the treasury.
The swans accepted the offer. Soldiers would come periodically and take the golden feathers and deposit them in the treasury. Initially, the swans were humble. They lived in harmony with other birds. But gradually, a thought began to take root in their minds.
We are special because we give gold.
One day, a baya came to drink water at the riverbank. A swan stopped her.
Wait. This river is ours.
The baya was startled.
Yours? The river belongs to everyone.
The second swan said,
We give golden feathers to the king. Therefore, we have the right to live here.
The baya flew away quietly. Gradually, the swans began to scold the smaller birds. They would say,
This is a special place. Only special birds can live here.
The old tortoise, who had lived near the river for years, would often explain.
Sons, the river is no one's private property. Nature is everyone's mother.
But the swans ignored him. One day, dark clouds covered the sky. A small blue bird came flying from a distance. Her name was Annie. Annie's home had been destroyed in a terrible storm a few days earlier. She had been wandering for days, sometimes sitting in the fields, sometimes in the forest. But she couldn't find a safe place. When she saw the river, hope shone in her eyes.
What a beautiful place. If I could just find a small corner here, I could make my home again,
she thought. Annie gathered courage and went to the swans.
Brothers, I'm homeless. Can I make a small nest on this tree? I won't bother anyone,
she said politely. The swans stared at her.
You. Do you have golden feathers?
A swan said with a laugh. Annie bowed her head.
No, but I can work hard. I'll keep the riverbanks clean.
The swans burst out laughing.
We give gold to the king. What will you give? This river is ours.
Another swan said harshly.
Don't dream of living here.
Annie's eyes filled with tears. She said one last time.
Nature belongs to everyone.
But the swans interrupted her.
Get out of here.
Annie flew away, humiliated. Annie sat down on a dry branch a short distance away. She was crying, but she hadn't given up. Just then, she saw a tiny sparrow fall into the river. Its mother was screaming in panic. Annie immediately dove down. Using her tiny wings, she waded through the water and carried the baby to shore. The sparrow said gratefully,
You have a big heart.
Annie smiled.
The house may be small, but the heart isn't.
The old tortoise was watching all this from a distance. The tortoise said to Annie,
Daughter, the king is just. Tell him the truth.
Annie gathered courage. She flew several miles and reached the palace. The palace was huge. Soldiers were guarding it. Annie politely requested to meet the king. When the king saw the little bird, he was surprised.
Tell me, what is your problem?
Annie narrated the entire incident. Weeping, she said,
Your Majesty, I only asked for shelter.
The king became serious. He ordered.
Summon all the golden swans to the court.
Within a few days, the swans appeared in the court. They were still proud of their golden feathers. The king asked,
Did you drive a homeless bird away from the river?
The swans replied,
Your Majesty, we give you golden feathers every 6 months. We have rights to the river.
The king's face hardened.
The river belongs to the kingdom. No one has a personal right to nature. Your feathers are valuable, but they do not give you the right to insult others.
The swans fell silent. The king said,
I'm giving you one chance. Go back and live in harmony with everyone. If there's another complaint, you'll have to leave the river.
The swans returned, but some still harbored pride. A few days later, a terrible storm struck. Lightning flashed, shaking the trees. The river's water level rose. The nests of the small birds were in danger. Annie immediately ordered everyone to move to the tall trees. She herself joined in to help. Some swans were standing at a distance, watching. But suddenly, due to a strong wind, a baby swan also fell into the water. Now, that same bluebird came forward to help. Annie saved the baby. The swans were stunned. After the storm, the swans realized their mistake. They came to Annie and said,
Forgive us. We insulted you out of pride.
Annie smiled and said,
If one's heart changes, one should forget the past.
From that day on, the river's atmosphere changed. Annie built her beautiful nest on the riverbank. She also gave shelter to other homeless birds. The swans now swam with the baby birds, gave them water to drink, and helped clean the river. When the king heard this news, he was delighted. He said,
True wealth lies not in gold, but in behavior.
That river still flows today. Its waves no longer tell a story of pride, but of friendship. Annie was never homeless. She not only built her own home but also provided shelter for others. And the golden swans? They learned a golden heart is more precious than golden feathers. This story teaches us. No one has authority over the river, the forest, and the earth. We must live together. Pride blinds a person, or bird, and prevents them from distinguishing between right and wrong. A kind and compassionate heart is more precious than golden feathers. Respect everyone, whether poor or weak.
Please like, share, subscribe, and comment. Also press the bell icon.